Very first one, we finished on 35 yesterday. Oh, it's right here. Okay, so our very first step is to do what? Distribute. Okay, so I got -5 times -10 is going to be a positive 50. -5 times m is going to be -5m. Okay, who is the third wheel? 50. So we're going to say add or subtract 50? Subtract 50 from both sides. Okay, what is 130 minus 50? 80. Okay, and then what needs done? Divide by -5. And what is my m going to be? What is 80 divided by -5? -16?
Yep.
Somebody agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, shoot, I put those geometry ones up. Okay, 37. What needs done first? Look at it. Combine. Okay, so I can combine that -4 and a +5, and that's going to give me a 1k. Okay, so I'm going to get a 1k equals 8. Then what? Divide by 1. And so I get k equals 8. Okay, 39. What needs done? Distribute. So 6 times 8? 48. I know what you meant. 6 times 7? 42. There you go. Equals 330. Subtract 42. Okay, he's the third wheel. We're going to subtract 42, and I don't know what that is, so somebody do it.
288.
Hold on. So we're going to get 48v, and you said 288? Somebody agree with that? Okay. Then what needs to happen? Divide by 48.
You guys got 288. Yeah.
Is that not right?
I got 282. I got 288.
330 minus 42.
6. Divide.
No, they're still on this. What the hell?
288.
Okay. Kim, you don't have to yell at me. Okay, 288 divided by 48?
6.
6? Okay, 41, 42, 43, 44. Okay, what do the bars mean to you?
There's 2 answers.
There are 2 answers. Okay, so that is a note that you may need. You guys shouted that really fast, so maybe not. Okay, so bars mean 2 answers. Okay. And then there is a rule with the bars, though. What is the rule?
If there's something on the outside, you do that first before you.
Yes. So anything that's on the outside of the bars has to be moved first before we say comma and make it a negative. So if we look at number 41, is there stuff on the outside of the bars? No. Okay, so we're going to say comma and make it a -8 as well. I'm going to erase this and do it in a different color. Okay, comma, -8. Okay, now if we look inside the bars, what needs done?
5, 10.
Add 10 to both sides, okay? So plus 10, plus 10, plus 10. Okay, so 8 plus 10 is going to be 18. -8 plus 10 is 2. Okay, and I highly suggest on these ones using a calculator because you're always going to be working with negatives and positives and stuff, okay? So just use the calculator to help yourself out. Okay, 43. Is there stuff on the outside of the bars?
Yes.
What is it?
10.
A plus 10. So how do I move that?
Minus 10.
Minus 10. So we're going to say minus 10, minus 10. Okay, so I got -1 plus x equals 1. Okay, now is there stuff on the outside of the bars?
No.
No, so now we can say comma, make it a -1. Okay, now if we look on the inside of the bars, what needs done? Add 1 to both pieces. Okay, so I got x equals 2 and 0. Okay, 45. The one note that I would say, well, for 45 and 46, okay, for these ones, is this an open or closed dot? Closed. Okay, whereas this one is open. Okay, that only really applies for 45 and 46. Okay, so on these ones, you should have 1 dot. Okay, so if we look at this, who's the third wheel? The K over 2 or the 3? The 3, okay, and I'm gonna write my problem down here just because. Okay, so am I gonna add or subtract 3? Add. So we're gonna add 3, add 3. Okay, so I have K over 2, and then that's gonna give me a 9. Okay, how do I break that up? Y times.
Because it's already divided.
It is, so that, the bar means K divided by 2, okay? So we need to say times 2 on both sides. Okay, the one note, really, it's, this note, we could say goes for 45 through 48, no, 50, okay? And there's another note I want to put on here, okay? If you times or divide by a negative, flip the sign. Okay, so all these notes go through 45 through 50, okay? 47 through 48 does have an additional note, okay? So 47 through 50, okay? The additional note is you should have 2 dots on your graph, okay? So we should have 2 dots, okay? And we flip it, we flip the sign, and we make it a negative. Okay. So the rules don't change a whole lot, but obviously you know the bars being 2 answers, correct? So that's where the 2 dots come from, because you have a dot per answer. But the problem where people make a mistake is to flip and make it a negative, okay? They'll make it a negative, but they forget to flip. Okay, so if we look at 47, again, is there stuff on the outside of the bars? No, okay, so we can go ahead and say n over 2. And then we have this for the first one. We're going to flip it and make it a negative 1 for the second one. And so now if we're looking at this, what needs done? Times 2 on all of the pieces. Okay, now, did we multiply or divide by a negative? No, so do we need to flip the signs again? No. Okay, so it's going to look like n, a 2, and a negative 2. Okay, on these dots, should they be open or closed? Closed. Okay. Okay, now, which one should we read? The positive one. So the positive one, again, we're looking at this dot. Okay, if you don't know how to read them, it's okay. But still, just do this dot. Which way is this arrow going? To the right. Okay, now, if this one is going out, which way is the other one going? Out. Okay, so they're either both going out, okay, like this, okay, or in. Okay, so if once we figure out, if one's out, the other one has to be out. If the one is pointed in towards the other one, then the other one has to be pointed in. Okay, we cannot have one in, one out. It's not possible. There's no way for it to work. Okay, it would make our inequality not true. Okay, if we look at 49, what needs done first?
Get rid of the 4.
Get rid of the 4. Okay, so I'm gonna write my equation down. 4 plus. Okay, so we're gonna say minus 4 from both sides. Okay, and I have 3. Okay, so now is there stuff outside the bars?
No.
No, so now we can flip it and make it a negative 3.
3. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what needs done now?
Plus 7.
Plus 7, plus 7, plus 7. Okay, do we need to flip our signs?
No.
No. When do we flip them?
If we divide it, multiply by a negative.
When we divide or multiply by a negative, okay? So, are our dots open or closed? They're both closed, so 4 and 10 are gonna be both closed. Okay, this one, which one should we read?
The positive. The first one. This one.
Either one, okay? So, if, again, make sure you're looking at the correct dot. So I can't look and be like, oh, this one goes that way. Okay, we need to look at that specific dot. So if we're doing this one, then I need to look at the 10. Which way is the 10's arrow gonna go? To the left, which means it's going in, okay? So that means they're both going in. I got 5 left. Okay, solve each equation by graphing. Hopefully you remember how to graph a basic line. Okay, that's all it is you're just graphing 2 lines. Okay, so if we're looking at this first one, what do I plot first, the 1/3 or the -1? The -1. So we're gonna go to the y line and find the -1. And we're gonna put our dot. Okay, what is my slope? -1/3. So I'm gonna go up 1 and over 3, which way?
Negative.
To the left, okay? So I'm gonna go up 1 and over 3. Okay, up 1, I can't go over 3. I gotta go down 1 and over 3. Okay, the one note I would say, line 1, okay? Make as many points as possible. Line 2, make points until the intersection. Okay, and so maybe that's only 1, maybe that's 2, maybe that's 10. I don't know. Okay, at the very least, it's got to be at least 2. Okay, so line 1, we're making as many points as we possibly can. Line 2, we're just only making the points until our 2 lines touch. Add a dot. Okay, so that's that intersection. Okay, so where is line 2 going to start out at?
2.
At 2.
Oh, 2.
Okay. What is the slope? 4/3. Okay, so we can go up 4. Well, can I go up 4?
Yeah.
No, so I got to go down 4 and over 3. Which way? Think about it. I need a negative line.
Right, left.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
To the right 3. Okay, and again, we have to make as many points until my 2 points are touching. Okay, that's what I mean by that intersection. Okay, and then when we make that intersection, okay, our coordinate, remember, goes x comma y. Okay, for the x, we go to the x line, and I'm trying to get to this point. So where is that at on the x line?
3.
At 3. Okay, and then on the y line, this is my y line. Where is it at on the y line?
-2.
-2. Okay, so really you can look up to the X line and over to the Y line, okay? And so that's kind of how we do that, is 3, 2.
Oh my God. Such a oh my God. Puta madre.
Okay, 53 is gonna be elimination. Okay, this one, you're just gonna have to kind of, you need to know it or you don't, alright? If you don't, then this is be one I would guess on, because it's like a lot of steps. Okay, we're gonna add the two together. Okay, what is 6 plus negative 7? Use your calculator. Negative 1x.
Oh my God.
Negative 6 plus 6.
Cancel out.
Cancel out. Okay, so these eliminate. Okay, 6 plus 3. 9. Okay, and then now look at this. What do you do?
Divide.
We divide. Okay, then what do we do?
Plug into.
Okay, and here's where some of you guys get lost. Here's what I want you to do. Okay, do this for real, for real. Okay, draw yourself some crazy looking stuff around here. Okay, that way you don't lose that coordinate. Okay, because your test is multiple choice, what I want you to do at this point is to look at your answers and see maybe only one of them has a coordinate on the X that is negative 9. And then do you really have to solve for the Y?
No.
No. Okay, and you were with me last year, so I taught you guys, I don't want to say how to cheat, but like if it's multiple choice, like cancel some stuff out when you can, because I don't care about your work. If there's only one answer that has a negative 9, do you need to keep going? No, it don't make no sense to, okay? Now, if two of them have negative 9, I would say at least you got a 50-50 shot at guessing, but then yes, finish solving, okay? So from here, you're gonna plug it into an original equation. Would you like to use equation 1 or equation 2?
One.
Okay, and I'm just gonna write you a note on here, pick either equation 1 or 2, okay? No matter whether you're solving for the X or Y, the steps are gonna be the same. You said 1, okay, so I'm gonna write down equation 1. And equation 1 says 6x minus 6y equals 6. Okay, what did I solve for? X, so we're gonna plug that in, okay? That's gonna go here. So it's gonna look like 6 times negative 9 minus 6y equals 6. Okay, 6 times negative 9, I mean negative 54 minus 6y equals 6.
Oh. Really gotta multiply 6 and negative 9?
No, look at it.
So you don't multiply 6 and 6y?
No,
So just 6 and negative?
we just distribute with the parentheses.
Oh, that's what I said.
Oh, I don't know what you're saying. Okay, and then we're gonna add 54. And you're gonna get 60. Okay, and then we're gonna divide by negative 6. So we get y equals negative 10. What should your numbers be smaller than? 10, okay? If they're like 20, that ain't right. Okay, negative 9 and 10 are kind of on the high side, but it's still within that parameter that I gave you, okay? I feel like elimination is easier than substitution.
Oh my God. I like substitution.
You like substitution?
I just like it better.
What?
I equally hate both, bro.
Huh?
Making my head hurt.
We got 1, 2, I got 3 left.
Yes, sir. That shit make my head hurt.
All that stuff is easy. I know, but the notes is gonna be the longest part.
We still gotta take notes, right?
I mean, you don't have to, but they're gonna need to. Okay, so for the substitution, we're gonna circle y equals, okay, which is which one?
Bottom one.
The bottom one, okay, and we plug it in up there. Okay, so 8x plus 4, and instead of y, what am I putting? Six X plus four, okay? And again, if you're like, man, I suck at these, this is one I would guess on, okay? Okay, and so if we're looking from here, we're gonna do what next? Distribute. Okay, so I got 8x plus 24x plus 16 equals 16. Okay, and then what needs done? Oh, I messed up. What's wrong with mine? I did forget the x. Look at you, Oscar. Talking about your head hurts. Bye for real. Okay, 8 and 24. 32. So I got 32x plus 16 equals 16. Good? So I got 32x equals 0. And then divide by 32, and yes, x equals 0. Okay, again, draw some sort of squiggly around this one so you don't lose it. Again, here, at this step, what should you do? Look at the answers and see if any of them match up, okay? Even if you have like, because you're gonna have 4 answers, even if 2 of them have 0, then cross these off. Now instead of a 25% chance, you have a 50-50 shot, okay? That's no different than flipping a coin. Maybe you'll get it right, maybe not, okay? So from here, we're gonna plug this into, and I would draw all these arrows for yourself, plug it into up there, okay? So it's gonna look like y equals 6x plus 4, and instead of the x, what am I putting? 0. Okay, and I can plug this into my calculator, and it's gonna give me a 4. Okay, you guys are gonna do 57, okay? I'm gonna do the 60 on the back, just so we have plenty of room to write notes, okay? Because that's the longest one, okay? But we are gonna do 58. How can you tell if this is a function or not? We need to do the vertical line test. What are not functions? Circle.
Square.
A horseshoe works.
The swivel line.
A swivel line.
Or use sideways.
This horseshoe like this, but you said horseshoe, right? Okay, a horseshoe like this ain't gonna work. A triangle, square, any of those things are not gonna work, which I'm not writing notes on this one because we're gonna do them on, for some reason, on the thing, I could not get, which is why these 2 questions, this one and the one before it, are separate. I had to put a question in between it, otherwise it just combined and I don't know what the heck was going on. Okay, so this question will not be on your test because this is the same as this. This one just has more questions. Okay, so is this one a function?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, and then we need to find the domain and we need to find the range. Okay, does anybody remember which way do I hold my pencil for domain? Up and down. Okay, so we're gonna start, do we start on the left or the right? The left, okay? So the first piece that I touch on the left is what? Okay, but what's at -8? An arrow, what's an arrow mean? Infinity, okay? So it's starting at infinity, okay? And then it's going to what? Where does it finish? At infinity, okay? Okay, and then the range, which way do we hold our pencil? Sideways, do we start at the bottom or the top? The bottom, okay, and we work our way up. Infinity, infinity. Good job, Jaden.
Thank you.
Okay, so again, I didn't write these notes on there because we're gonna do them below, okay?
Thanks for work.
Okay, so look at the stuff below and we're gonna write some notes. Okay, so a function, and I'm gonna go just in the same order and I'm gonna kind of number these. So you guys know which notes go with which, okay? And I would suggest you do the same. Okay, so for 1, what does not a function look like?
Straight line.
A straight line is 1, okay? So a straight line is not a function. What else is not a function? We just talked about some.
Sideways.
A sideways U, this way U,
A triangle.
a triangle,
Square.
square, circle, a squiggly, those are not functions. Okay?
Wait, a straight line going up.
A straight line going up and down is not gonna be a function. Or if it's like just a little bit of a W and then it shoots the rest of the way up, that like one that goes like this, like a straight up check mark,
Draw it real quick.
like if we went like that, this part makes it not a function.
The Nike logo.
Kind of. I didn't do it right this time. Hello. No, you're good. Oh my, we skipped the food bank yesterday. Yeah, can you maybe text her today and apologize? And let her know that next week we will not, because it's final. No, we will actually next week.
You know that.
That's okay.
You got caught up for. KT, you heard that got caught. I swear to God. This morning before first period, I was there.
What happened?
Where is it? It was Megan that caught him.
What happened?
He was charging him $12.
Mm,
And he pulled it, but he hit it in. He just had a long ass charger. And it was hanging on his jacket, bro. The charger, and then when the teacher saw it, he was like, "All right, everybody get out. I'm gonna search these two." And I was like, "Bro."
I don't know, like, I don't consent to the search.
So Nick and him got caught.
They can't just search you without you doing that.
you could do a resume and then
They got
next
caught.
semester
Both nights, that's right.
work on a job that they actually want to pursue.
I do not feel like doing this.
No, you good?
Yeah. Both of them benefit them, but they're younger, so they're gonna try to get a job here soon. And it would look much more impressive if they just have a different job. Yeah. Over. Yep. Okay, number 2, the domain, we've just covered it. Okay, shh, hey. Okay, so our pencil goes up and down, and we read from left to the right, okay? And again, if you don't need these notes, then don't worry about it, okay? Number 3, for the range, our pencil goes this way, and we read from the bottom to the top. Okay, and we've talked about it, but what does an arrow mean? Infinity, okay? So make sure that you remember that part. Okay, an x-intercept. How would you describe an x-intercept?
Where the points meet. I mean, never mind.
Where is an x-intercept? How do you describe that?
Where it crosses the.
Where it crosses the x-line, okay? So where it crosses the x-line, okay? And you can have more than one, okay? So get them all, all right? I can tell you on your test, I went through and marked any and all dots. So your test looks like this. I went through and said like A, B, C, D, okay. So everything, a y-intercept will have a letter. An x-intercept will have a letter. Okay, you shouldn't be using numbers for almost any of them, okay? Just that way there wasn't any sort of confusion. Okay, the y-intercept is what?
Where it crosses the line.
Yeah, so where it crosses the y line. Okay, number 6 says linear or non-linear. How do we know if it's linear or non-linear?
If it's a straight line or.
It's gotta be perfectly straight to be linear. okay? So either this way, this way, this way, this way, okay, but you can't have like a V, okay? Because a V, even though this side's straight and this side's straight, that bend in it makes it non-linear, okay? So, and linear is easiest to tell, okay? Linear
Straight line.
is a straight line, and it looks like either this, 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 okay, or maybe this, okay? Those are all examples of linear. So anything else, obviously, is non-linear, okay? Number 7 says discrete or continuous. How can we tell?
There's any breaks.
Okay, so breaks in the graph are gonna be discrete, okay? Okay, so if we're looking at a graph, if it's like this, okay, it's discrete. Okay, continuous then is I can start from one arrow, we can say, and work my way all the way over without lifting up my pencil. Okay, so discrete are definitely, I would say, if you were gonna guess, I would go with continuous. Okay, for the graphs, just because that's typically what it is. Okay, a min, how do you describe a min?
The lowest point. Oh,
It's a low point. Okay, so it's something here at the bottom. Okay. Can you have multiple mins?
Yeah.
yes.
Yes. Okay. Could you have no mins?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. A max then is what?
Highest point.
A high point. Okay, so if we're looking at, I don't know, a letter M, okay, the peaks, okay, are those high points. Okay, and then last but not least, odd or even?
Times different ways, means the same way.
Yeah, okay, so odd, we'll start with even. Okay, what do evens look like? Show me, use your hands.
Both like this.
Both going this way, both going this way, this way, this way. Okay, there's 4 options for even. Okay, even is gonna look both up, both down, both left, or both right.
This way.
You messed them up.
No, if they're going both this way.
You're like, this way?
This way.
There you go. Okay, so I know what you meant, but I'm like, what are you doing, Kim? Okay, so if one is going up and one is going down, okay, or one is going down, I almost drew the same exact picture. I did. Okay,
Wait, so are we doing 58, 59? We already did 58. Yeah, what? I did 58 too.
okay, so, although on your test on this one, it says like really one question, right? This is question 60. On your test, they will all be separate, okay? I just, on this review, because it was an open-ended, I wanted to make sure that we could cover it all on one graph. Okay, so if we look at this graph, is this a function?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Okay, and so we can start to fill this part out. Okay, yes, this is a function. The domain,
Negative infinity.
negative infinity
And then infinity.
to infinity.
Same thing.
Second
The range, try again.
It's not
Negative 2.
but
Or
Where does it start from the bottom? Use your pencil, turn it sideways.
negative 2.
Negative 2, or you could put what?
A.
A. Okay, so negative 2 or A to what? Infinity.
I was looking at the graph above that one.
That's okay. Just kidding, the x-intercepts.
Negative 5. 3.
Yeah, so, no, negative 5, yep, and 3. Okay, so negative 5 and 3. The y-intercepts.
Negative 2.
Negative 2, good, that's right here. Linear or non-linear? Non-linear. Discrete or continuous? Continuous. What did I tell you you should guess most of the time? Okay, what about linear or non-linear? What should you guess most of the time? Non-linear. Okay, so if you don't know, guess those. Okay. Min, A. Max, none. Odd or even? Even. It is even.